Okay, today we're gonna look at the French territory. So, obviously, French colony, let's call it like that. New Caledonia. It's gonna be interesting to see. Again, like I said, we're gonna remain in this part of the Pacific so we can actually finish all those main islands. So, exactly have an idea how those people live. As in always, we're gonna start with population, with some numbers, and then we're gonna look Google Earth and hopefully some good street view how those people actually live. Now, New Caledonia, roughly just under 300,000 people. The growing rate you can see pretty much all over the place, but it tends to have a decline rate over time, I would say, not immediately. But the population is still growing so far. Now, 1955, only 70,000 people, so you can see 1.6, 1.7% growing rate. That would be like 1,000 people. Migration again on zero, but I don't think that's gonna be possible, but who knows. Median age 21 years old, fertility rate one of those nonsense 5.2, and roughly 30% of the population living in an urban area. Now 2025, fast forward, 300,000 people and growing, but the growing rate it's around 0.92 now, so you can see a decline. At some point they have like 4.7, which is huge. So right now that growing under 1%, it's gonna be like roughly under 3,000 people, and median age quite a lot, I would say 35 years old from 21. It is something. Fertility rate much more manageable, under 2, so 1.92. They got below replacement, let's say in the pandemic year, I would say. With that 2, maybe 2.02, maybe, not for sure. Urban population 75%. Ooh, pretty steep incline. Now 2050, 340,000 people, so not that much of increase, I would say, with a 0.32% per year increase, and that will be roughly again like 1,000 people. Migrants here was 283, so you can see they have a, let's say, pretty stable migration. Median age 41 years old, which is still good. Fertility rate 1.7. Now we're going in those good manageable territories, I would say. Now it's not a huge country, as you can see, or territory, maybe should I say it better, but still I think the population is a bit higher, but we're gonna look exactly how those people live. They're gonna have a much better idea. Urban population are 90%, so you can see pretty much most of the people are gonna living in an urban area. Now how you define that, especially in those islands, well, depends with the standard. Here is gonna be urban population, like they have access to electric powers, clean water, education, switch, so stuff like that, and the tarmac road maybe. In the west, probably gonna need more than that. Now, life expectancy here, 80 years old for both sexes is pretty good, I would say. Females 81.5 and males 76, 77 years old. They are huge numbers, I would say, so they doing pretty well. Infant mortality rate 8.2 and death at the age of 5 10.3. Those are bad numbers, clearly, especially from the French, let's say, territory, when, from my understanding, the French medical system, it's very good, very good. So clearly, compared with other territory countries in this region so far, it seems to do very well here compared with those, but with a very good system, they still have a lot to work, probably a lack of funding, I would say, but who knows. Now, pyramids, you can see the base is getting narrow and narrow, I would say, so you can see level the population, let's call it like that, but probably gonna see with time they're gonna get more narrow and narrow, which is pretty normal, I would say. A huge, not a huge, but clearly a male surplus population, as you can see. By the age of, I don't know, 50, 52, around that, then you're gonna have some female. So yeah, some trouble for those guys that are trying to find someone, I would say. Economic in this area, well, let's look at the GDP first. GDP, 10 billions US dollars nominal. That would be like, they don't have, no, they don't have just per capita now. So per capita is gonna be like $35,000. I believe they're nominal again. They don't say here, but I believe those are nominal numbers. So they're doing actually pretty good. Agriculture 1.4, industry 26.8, and services 71, 72% in 2015. By the way, those are actually healthy numbers for a good economy. I can see why they have, let's say, so much money. 35,000. Now again, French colony. Maybe they get a lot from France. We're gonna see. You can see here. Look at this. They export a lot to China, South Korea, and Japan, but they import a lot from France, Australia, Singapore, and China. So clearly some French ties there, very obviously. Now we don't have a PPP, but inflation, you can see for 0.4%. That's pretty good, but this is 2014, so yeah, long time ago. Unemployment rate, I say they're gonna introduce this one. Here in 2020 was 12.8, which is huge. And I checked for the 2024, they are around the same number, so not that much change. So unemployment rate here, it's very, very high, I would say. Corruption, well, being a territory, as you can see here, they didn't measure it, but probably it's gonna be like similar as they have in this region, similar even with France. So yeah, I would say a score like 50, 60 at the most, around that. Well, history, you can see here, not that much you can say. There is pretty much a new territory. I mean, they was discovered, they say, by this map. We're gonna judge you this map. And by the way, those are British ones, so French, clearly they snapped this one out. In 1853 was a French New Caledonia, and they continued. So roughly very new country, I would say. And now they got, they say, their independence, but still a territory. French New Caledonia in 1998. So probably in that year they got more power to govern. Let's call it like that. So now look at this. It is pretty much in the middle of the nowhere, but still very close to the Australian continent. Compared, like we're gonna be like right here in the middle, actually, of nowhere. So we're gonna look at exactly how those people live, and hopefully we're gonna have some street views and 360s. Now, being a French territory, very civilized one, so I expect to see much more those of the 360s. And also being French, I expect to see a lot of the let's say not French culture, but I hope it's gonna be a bit different than those British ones, the British colonies, British culture. Here, yeah, we're not gonna see that much of the difference. Unfortunately, we don't have a 360 in this region, but from above looks pretty good, I have to say. On this island we don't have that much data, so we're gonna start with the main one right here, and the first one that I see is just here right now. Let's see this one. Now again, it's gonna be the region, it's not gonna see huge differences between them, but I expect some differences to see it, and I am curious if I can actually spot the differences between a British island and a French island. That would be something, I would say. Now here we have those, I think they call it mangroves. I'm not sure, but it looks like that. We have this guy built very well. And unfortunately we don't have that many in this part. So yeah, we're gonna have to move inwards the continent. Hopefully gonna see much more the 360s. Street views, yeah, not so much. This is from 2015, so 10 years ago. It's French, so I expect that the phone company provider here is gonna be Orange. That would be something interesting to see. In the British territories we have the Vodafone, and in the French one we're gonna have Orange. If you don't know what Orange it is, it's one of those company providers, phone company. So I am actually extremely curious if you actually can find Orange here. That would be something. That would be so French, I would say, in my opinion. That would be very French. So far from above, it looks pretty nice. Again, roads above, again, from above, this is 2019, before pandemic. It looks very nice. I mean, look at this. Even in the middle of nowhere, you have this beautiful tarmac road. It looks nice. Here to reach those residential area, let's call it like that. I'm not sure it's a residential area because they kind of have a lot of cars here. Maybe some bar on the beach or a small resort. Maybe, I'm not sure. Clearly gonna use a dirt road, which I don't find a problem with that, but from above so far they look pretty nice again. I always say like British colonies, British territories used to do well, much better than the Spanish one, than the Portuguese, French even, but we're gonna see exactly how those people actually do. And I can already see some French cars, so clearly a French culture, very tight, let's call it like that, very well taken care, we should say. I mean, we see some French cars, so it is something, I would say. If you're gonna see more French car than say Japanese car here, I would be impressed. seeing how close the French government's gonna stay with those people. Now, I like those windows here, very nice. This small patio, whatever they call it here. Clearly, this is a resort one, so yeah. But I like it. Look, they're a little spread out. They're not just jammed together here when you go on vacation. I never was in such a place, but usually you see those owners of those resorts that are trying to jam everybody to just make more of those small resorts, so you can actually rent more. Now they have this airstrip here. I'm not sure if it's actually in use, but it is pretty interesting to have an airstrip so close to the resort, so you don't have to travel that far, I guess. So pretty good so far. I wish they're gonna have more those street views and 360 in this region, because it looks like a nice one so far, especially from the above. But we're gonna see more when you go in those more dense populated area. Now from the above, again, this is how much? This is 350 meters above the sea level elevation. New Caledonia looks pretty good, I have to say. It looks pretty nice. It's nothing that I can complain so far. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly how. Like I say, it's a French territory. It's not exactly a 100% independent state. So I am curious, like I say, how much interference from the French they have and how much help they have, because look at this, the roads so far impeccable. I really like to see European cars, and especially those that you don't find in US. I don't think the Renault sells cars in the US. I don't, at least not from a while now. So you see those European cars so far away from Europe. I think it's something special about them. Just it looks pretty nice in my opinion. It's not something that we expect to see, and when you see it, it's just kind of make you a bit proud of your continent. And also, we're gonna show how big their power used to be. Even now, it's pretty big. I mean, France is not it's not like a very weak country. It's still very powerful country. But you can see the power when they reach pretty much on the other side of the planet with their voyages and colonizing other areas, which I think it's a statement, I would say. Yeah. Now this is like a nice cave. I would say something with biological importance, geological importance, and we have those graffiti here. So yeah, it doesn't look that well, but I guess it is what it is. And looks like, I don't think it's exactly from this area, but it looks like it's gonna be some quite of interesting tourist attraction. And you have those graffiti there. It doesn't look good, isn't it? So yeah, but hey, we can move on without that. Wow, this is actually a rich, probably neighborhood, let's call it like that. You can actually make movies here. Look at this, how nice it is. And we have French car. It's a Citroën. This is, I'm not sure it's a Toyota, but it says on the roof it's a Toyota. I think that's right here, it's a Kia, and that behind it, it's a Chevrolet, so a bit combine them. Those solar panels, they are used for heating the water, which is very efficient, I have to say. Those pools, I mean, look at this. Those are rich people, but look at this. The cars are not something that you're gonna say, oh, they're very expensive one, which is their reasonable good car, I have to say. But look at the house. Look how those people actually live. They live much better than the Europeans, let's face it. Look at this nice pools here. Even the housing, compared with what you see in this region, being a French colony, and clearly the French government, I would say, they intervene a bit more than they. So far, they look like they take much better care of those people. Judging by the roads and how those people live, and even by the medical system, it's still better than we saw in other colonies. I keep calling colonies. Let's call it other states, territories in the region. Okay, we are the beginning of the making this video, but so far they're looking pretty good here, I have to say. I mean, look at this. They have 360 here. I believe all of them, they are the same. I guess they just read. No, they're actually different. They have even a dog here. We don't see that car, but probably, like I said, probably gonna be a Toyota, I would say. It seems like they have a dream life. I mean, here it looks pretty good. I mean, who would not like to live like this? Come on. Even the yard, I just studied this guy house now. It doesn't seem to be that big, but it is what you need for a very nice house. And everyone in this region looks like, look at this. Nice pools, big houses, again, pools everywhere, some solar panels, nice yachts. I mean, I believe there are more boats here than actually people, doesn't seem to be that many, and I don't find anything else in this region. They have some other construction in this area, and unfortunately we don't have 360 there to actually see them, but so far here they look very nice. Now again, it could be one of those expensive regions, but so far unfortunately again we don't have 360 in those. We don't have that much information to judge them. It might be one of those, again, this is a small town, and it could be like this is how the main population actually live, and then it's like the rich neighborhood, because clearly we can see a difference. I don't see any pool from above here, and look how they are built. It's more like an American style here. We just have to straight streets and all that urbanization. It looks pretty good. Again, French seems to have it much better here. Let's see this one. Oh, from above, that's pretty good. Yeah, there are some small houses. I'm not sure, maybe it's like on a resort thing or just for the tourist. I'm not sure, again, I said. But it looks pretty decent. Not how those people actually live on that part right there, I think it was, but still pretty good. Pretty good. Unfortunately, again, we don't have that many 360, so I can actually see exactly how those people live, but it seems to look, again, 300, how many was 300,000 people, and then they're gonna grow around how much next thing with the 0.3%, probably they're gonna reach under 400,000 people, so just 100,000 more. Like I say, it's not many people, but you can manage better those numbers. And that 35,000 US dollars GDP per capita, I believe, we kind of see it here. We can actually see it. It's better than my country, for God's sake. So, and they're living in paradise. So money, it will make a difference. Now again, when you look at those numbers, the money is not going to be everything. Just look at the numbers and say, oh, those people actually live very nice, or we have those low numbers, those people don't live that well. We saw that in Papua New Guinea. It was a big difference between what was on the numbers and how those people live, in my opinion. Again, so far here, yeah, the money seems to play a let's say a more realistic role. I see those 35,000 so far. I saw it. Now I hope they don't choose to show me what they want to and leave me with some bad information, let's call it like that. But the place to live is pretty nice, I believe, especially from the French citizen and even from the EU citizen like me. I don't think we're gonna need that much paperwork to travel in this location. So yeah, it's gonna be easily reachable in oh, that's pretty nice here. Look at this in this region. When you talk about the paperwork, so it's not gonna be like a huge problem. Yeah, it's far away. It's on the other side of the on the planet for us, so it's not gonna be that easy to travel. But being a French territory, being a relatively rich country so far as I can see, with, let's say, some decent corruption level, if there's such a thing, it could be so far a very nice place to travel in this region for the Europeans and from the Western world. So far it looks pretty damn good, but let's finish the video and I'm gonna see exactly by the end how exactly it's gonna be. So far it looks like a bit like a European Hawaii, I would say. We have another European Hawaii much closer than this island, much closer to Europe. We call them Azore. It's a Portuguese territory. I'm not sure if I don't think I make a video there, but I'm gonna make a video at some point. Like I said, we're gonna go back to see again those countries that I didn't make that much in more detail the videos. That's a Nissan. Okay, so that's a Japanese car. We're gonna look back in more detail how those people actually live and how their life is there, even in those territories. It's gonna be pretty interesting, I would say. Now here it looks so far pretty good, I have to say. I see the money, I see well used, not that many people, so it's gonna be much more easily manageable. Like I would say, when you have a less population, it's gonna give you some advantages too, not just disadvantages. Now the road here, this is 2018, so pretty old, but the road is still pretty good. This part not so well here, but I guess pretty decent. I like those pine trees. It is a nice vegetation area, it's a nice geographical one, it looks pretty good. Like I said, you can actually make movies here or TV shows like they have in Death in Paradise in a British side. But even that, I think it's in Guadalupe, which is a French territory still. So we're gonna check Caribbean, we're gonna look at that. So far they look pretty nice. Just who can imagine? I mean, probably they speak French 100%, or at least one of the official language. And for the French person, if you wanna, let's say, retire in paradise, I'm not sure exactly how the housing market is gonna be here, how strong it is, how affordable it is. Let's call it like that. But it could be a very nice place to retire, because working here with that high unemployment rate, I don't think it's gonna be easy. So I will not make some dreams about moving there and wow, I am 30 years old moving there, look how great my life it is compared with what I have in the mainland France. I don't think it's gonna be the case. But as a retired person, yeah, that medical system, it's a bit sketchy compared with what they have in the mainland France, in a hexagon. But maybe we'll worth the risk, who knows. Yeah, so, and please make more 360s and some street views, because clearly it is worth it. I mean, it looks pretty good. Now this road here clearly is not for regular cars, or maybe just for the walking, for tourists. I don't think it looks like from above it looks a bit like they changed a bit, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. Now here the houses are not that jammed together, I have to say. They have some green spaces, they have some decent roads from above, they look pretty good. I'm looking for a Carrefour supermarket. If they have one of those, it's gonna be the Frenchest thing I ever see in my life. So such a far away from France, but I'm not sure exactly yet. We have a Japanese car, it's a Honda, so clearly if that would be like a Renault Clio, I'll be much happier, just because the French. But I can take a Honda from now and then, so I'm not that tight. Here they have some sort of a stadium. Here it's like it's a football, not, I keep saying soccer. It's not a soccer. For the American viewers, yeah, it's a soccer. For us, it's football. Clearly something happened here. It's like a fire or something like that. But again, house is pretty nice, spread around. Out here it looks like they have some, it looks like a military post in my opinion, but I'm not sure. I have no idea what's happened here, but it looks pretty interesting, I have to say. Even here, like new construction housing, this is how they build now, with the white roofs. Maybe, not sure, but it looks something. Yeah, I have no idea why they don't have a street view here, because clearly the roads are actually great. So I don't see that why we don't have one, fortunately. Wow, this is one. So primarily the mining, it's a good place to earn some money, to have a nice living here, but I'm not exactly sure. Let's move on the other coast. Let's see what we can find here a bit more. I want to check those two islands. Wow, somebody just bothered to go on that island. Now they're gonna show me here, but I'm not sure exactly where we are. But from above, again, nice, very nice. Some solar panels here. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. But again, in those far away from France, when you rely usually your main income from the country, from the territory perspective, like we saw that video in Guyana. I think I made that video. I'm not sure if I made it or I just randomly check it. And the wealth increase. And I don't think I didn't make. I'm gonna make that video. Like I said, usually I don't make research, but for some reason I don't know why that Guyana stand up for me. When you have the luck, let's call it like the luck, to find resources like petrol, oil, whatever. Petrol, you can find petrol, find oil. Oil in your territory, and your wealth, it's increasing exponentially, extremely high. It does not mean that the country is gonna do well. It's pretty much like a curse at some point. And here with mining, I don't think it's the same exactly, but still, And I can see how can in those small communities, small countries, such far away from the mainland, they can develop such a different economy outside those resource area. But maybe they're gonna find a way to actually see a better integration, let's call it like that, from everyone, regardless of the wealth in the commodities of the country. So they can actually trying to build wealth with the people itself, not with the commodity that they it seems to have it or not at some point. I'm not sure if it makes sense what I'm saying, but we're gonna hopefully we're gonna find that in the next 50 years if you are still alive. Now here, well, those small housing, this is a Volkswagen Golf, I believe. And this one, ooh, that's a tough one. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not gonna make anything. I'm not sure. But on one side we have these small houses, which looks kind of odd. On the other side we have those one, looks a bit better, I would say. Not much better, but just a bit better. Probably they have some I don't know, like we have that carrier when they're looking for gold, whatever they're looking there. And this is a housing for those workers, I would say, very close to the airport also. Here looks like a nice resort. Here looks like, again, housing for those workers. I'm not entirely sure, but this is how it looks. And here it looks like clearly they farm something like that there. Now here, let's say in the small communities of the country, well, I'm not sure exactly what it is here, but you can see a bit above. That's a Hyundai 100%. So yeah, some Japanese, some South Korean cars, some French cars. Here the road doesn't look that well, then keep in mind this is 2020, so yeah, not everything looks amazing. This is an apartment building, I would say. Not sure exactly, but still pretty decent. Again, whoa, why do they have so many 360s here? Or is it just because they can move a bit around and that's it? Oh no, it's a kindergarten again, actually. Wow, that's pretty nice windows. You can see, I mean, if you just go here, the kindergarten, you're just gonna look outside. Maybe you're gonna see like a car passing every an hour, something like that. So it's gonna be pretty exciting for those kids. But yeah, looks like a pretty nice place to grow up so far, I would say. But we're gonna see. Yeah, see, they have those carriers here. I think I could call it right. Clearly, the mining, it's a good industry here. Hopefully, you're not gonna see the same thing like when those soil dries out. Let's call it like that. Everything kind of follows with them and just destroy every single thing that they built so far. Now, this is a gym, which is pretty interesting. Very, very European, let's call it like that. The roads, again, looks amazing from above. I don't understand why they didn't make a street view there, because there's gonna be only good things to say about them so far. It looks pretty good, I have to say. I don't think we find, I want to say a bad area. Probably that's the same Honda that we saw in the other 360. So that's a Citroen 100%. I think like a C3 maybe. I'm not sure. That's a Nissan. That's a basketball court, a concrete one. I'm not sure those baskets can be that far away, but those football, not exactly how they call it. Yeah, it seems to be the right length between them. Here we have a Kia. So not that actually not that many French cars so far. So maybe you have to go in the main city, main town, to see more of them. But yeah, so far I think they're looking pretty good. Would be interesting to say, you know, let's make some scenario. You're born here and then you go, let's say in France, and when you are like 15 years old, they're gonna say, hey, I used to grow and I was born here in New Caledonia. I have so many nice stories to say, and probably like everybody's gonna be like, what? How is it? Is it nice? It looks like a great place to at least to grow up, if not living your entire life. Growing up here, it looks, at least if you were born, like I say, in a very wealthy family, as always, because let's face it, everybody kind of wants that. It could have some real nice story from here. But even like on a medium income one, I think they're gonna do a great job here, because everything looks pretty nice. I didn't find anything that bad so far, so actually they look pretty nice. I say, like I say, I remember what I said when I say that, wow, they have like a nice river here. That's pretty good. When I said that the British colony tend to do better, but clearly there are some exceptions for the French, at least so far. So yeah, here it seems to do pretty well. They seem to do pretty well. Again, I didn't find that provider from the phone, but maybe you're gonna see when you go to the main town. You're gonna see the main city town, but they don't have that many people, so we can call it, I think, a main town. Here, I think we have something, but we cannot show, unfortunately. That would be interesting to see right there. Ooh, we have a road. Oh, we have a 360. No, it's a street view. Ooh, let's see it. This is from 2020, so in the pandemic here, not such a great quality, I have to say, but at least it is something. The road, yeah, here not so well, and clearly the 360 is pretty much fucked up because I can't see anything that great. Here the same. The road, yeah, not so well, but they have, you can see here, they have the electricity, which it is pretty good. We're gonna remain with those 360. They are much better made, I would say. Yeah, this region looks like a resort, something to rent, to go on a vacation. Let's check those on the beach. Wow, quite a few here in this area. Quality very good, beach very nice. Clearly that rock and that cave, whatever small cave, gonna attract some attention. As you can see, a lot of 360s here, so yeah, we're gonna see. Pretty interesting, yeah, pretty interesting. Wow, what are those trees? Look at those. That's from above. That's a very nice drone shot right there. That's some interesting trees here. Look at them. Somebody's just enjoying life here on the beach. Come on, that guy's living the dream right there. That's calling living the dream. Yeah, I thought we are gonna see those trees, but can we see them? Hopefully it's not the same from above. Nah, it's the same from above. So just check those one. Yeah, look at those. That's pretty looking strange. I have no idea what species it is, but clearly they are very strong. Look at how thick it is. And yeah, those people living in a different universe than us. Now, look at how clean the beach is. So clearly they do a great job keeping this. And I have to say, so far I didn't see garbage anywhere. So they keep a very clean this island. So good for them. See, European civilization with actual European civilization today. So we keep everything clean where we're going. We don't like garbage, especially in places like this, in paradise. And now we're gonna see like a pile of garbage somewhere, and just everything is gonna get out of the. Now I think we have some bother here. Okay, so I have some small garbages in some area. This one I don't think is garbage, just some wood. But here looks like a bottle of water to me. So yeah, a small garbage there. Don't like it, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. Maybe, who knows, the guy to make 360 just put it there. I'm just speculating now. Wow, that's a nice view right there. So can have, again, one of those trees. Pretty interesting one. Yeah, I got a message, so ignore that. That's a French car right there. That's a Renault Clio, 100%. I can see it. I see a Clio when I recognize a Clio when I see it, so no matter where they are. I used to have actually a French car. I have a Renault Megane 2, second generation, Mark II, Gen 2, whatever you want to call it. Very nice car. It breaks once in a while, but still was easy to fix and pretty cheap, so yeah. If I see one of those cars here, I will be amazed. I mean, can you imagine just moving in this, for whatever reason, moving in this part of the country, in the part of the planet, and having my first dream car. It was my first car, but actually a very nice car. And driving the car around here, that would be like very, very interesting. Now, a lot of mud here. Clearly, they just have a rain, probably a day before. Some nice places to explore. I don't think they have bears here on those islands, obviously, so it's not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna kill something that's gonna kill you there. Maybe some snakes, but here in Europe, when you go in those trails, at least for me, I'm not going that often, but the main worry is when I get attacked by a bear. That's the most, I would say, danger you can have here, getting attacked by a bear, which is actually kind of happened pretty often. So it's not something that you should ignore. But here, I don't think they have bears in this paradise island, for God's sake. Maybe a snake or something like that, but a bear, nah, I don't think you can get attacked by a bear on the island. How that will be like in centuries. There was no bear attack here, and just one day happens like they find a bear there and just attack someone. How about that? And they're gonna looking for the bear. So that'll be like a pretty interesting movie story, like they've done with that crack bear. Here it's a Renault. It's a van, but still a French car, a French commercial car. Now look at this. This driveway, let's call it like that, would be nice if it was made of the concrete or tarmac, but even like this, still pretty decent. So probably with time they're gonna change that. I did not see so far banana trees, I think. I didn't look that hard for those, but I don't think I saw banana trees. Now a little bit hilly here, we have some hills here. It looks pretty nice. It could be one of those version of the French New Zealand, let's call it like that. So far it looks pretty nice, pretty good, I have to say. So I didn't complain about anything. But I didn't see that many 360 with actually people in the shot. So now here much more busy area, let's call it like that. Renault, I think, most likely. Yeah, they have OPT. I don't think that's a phone provider, even they have those nice antennas here, but pretty interesting places here. Yeah, a bit jammed together. I don't think they're exactly that huge. They have Oreos. Emily Oreo. That was pretty nice. They have a Dacia right here. A Peugeot car again, and that's a can you imagine? Here in Romania we have used to be a Romanian brand, now they sell it a long time ago, and now they make it under this brand. Well, whole story that doesn't even matter. But here because the people not that so rich, clearly they buy those cars from those poor ones from very long time. Used to be like the cheapest car here. Now even now it's very cheap, but I think they're like one mother or two from other manufacturers that make better, cheaper cars. And see a car so far from the continent, for me it is pretty exciting because it's something new. You don't see it every day. It's interesting. It's, special. Let's call it like that. We have some gift shop here, I think. They sell maps. They sell all those gifts, whatever they have here. Pretty interesting. So yeah, probably the tourist area, it is pretty well developed. Mainly probably French citizens from the European continent, they're gonna come and actually visit this area. I don't think, especially from the rest of the Europeans, I don't think this part of the planet, of the world, is that again, is that well known. But clearly it is worth seeing. That's definitely another Dacia. Probably it's a Logan model. It looks pretty good, I have to say. Pretty good. Not so bad. Not so bad at all. See, I didn't even know those places exist if I didn't make those videos, so you can actually see new things. And it is very interesting, at least for me. I find it extremely interesting. And for 300,000 people, you know what? It doesn't seem to look that bad. I mean, look at the roads here. I mean, you're not gonna find some Ferrari most likely, but it's gonna be a nice place to have one on this island. Probably if you need some parts, you're gonna wait like months, but hey, you're living in paradise. It's not, at least so far, it's not everything perfect. Looks pretty good from above. And I have to say the quality of those 360 very well. The street view not so well, but probably just the beginning to just experience, let's say, experiment with that. So probably that's why looks pretty nice. I mean, you have mountains, you have nice places here to live, you have pretty much everything. It looks like, again, like a French New Zealand, almost like a French New Zealand. And definitely, look at this, some nice mountains. Probably those street views not gonna be such a great quality, but just check it anyway. Yeah, the same guy probably didn't make it, but pretty decent actually. The roads looks very nice. You have street illuminated. You have another Dacia, it's a Duster, and the Logan. Oh, big fan of Dacia brand here. Very interesting. I am curious where those cars were actually assembled and how much they cost. So if somebody, maybe you have a shot here, somebody from, clearly they're gonna have YouTube 100%. If somebody from this island, from this territory is seeing this video, just answer as many questions as you can. Where do they get your cars? How the life is there? How much is the salary? How well is the medical system? Because so far it doesn't seem well, but still not the worst. How do you see yourself as a European more than a, let's say, I don't know, a South Pacific one, or whatever that means, because it is actually pretty interesting living here, and at least intriguing it is, because like I say, you do not expect such a European culture so far from Europe. Even like I say, even look at this in the cars, very similar with what we have here in Europe, but also look at some American cars here. Very interesting places. I really like it here. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. You can say whatever you want. It's still a nice place to grow up. They have that. And it's French. How about that? Looks pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Ooh, they have all those strips pretty much spread at the entire length of the country, on the island. Gift shops, whatever they have here. Now, but here they have some tourists. It's not that, it's pretty busy. It's not that empty. Now, like I said, I wish we're gonna have more of those 360 and street views, especially street views, the good quality one. I don't speak French. I have no idea what they advertise here, but maybe some that phone provider, but I don't know this one. BCE, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, the main provider, I think, from France, I think it's Orange. We're gonna see that probably more in the Africa. Ocean, that's again an ocean. I forgot about the ocean. So Ocean, depends how you want to call it. It's also a French supermarket. Yeah, we have here in Romania too. Oh, for God's sake, I just remembered. I have to go to look for the coconut extract. I'm trying to make some homemade Malibu and see if I can actually do it. So yeah, but yeah, Ocean, pretty interesting. See, we have Ocean in South Pacific. Let's call it like that. Let's check the cars. Yeah, some Renault, some Minis, Kias, Hyundais, Citroens, a lot of European brands that we don't usually see them. Volkswagen, Mazda. Nice parking lot. This guy, look at this, clearly European size parking spots. You have this guy with Nissan Navara, just doesn't fit there. Yeah, pretty nice. I forgot about the Ocean. Yeah, I have to check that too. I didn't find that coconut extract, so I checked even the Carrefour, which is a French supermarket store, and I couldn't find it. So maybe yeah, in Ocean, yeah, I'm gonna check that on the website, see if they have something. That's a Toyota, by the way. Yeah, the road looks pretty nice. Again, it's French, it's nice, it's better, it's whatever you want to call it. Oh, that's a nice pool. Yeah, clearly those people are pretty rich. Most of them, again, it's gonna be some poor ones, 100%, but they looking pretty good, and especially in those small towns. Again, I don't have that many details because we don't have here. They don't have a road. I don't know. I can see it how exactly those people live, but so far as we saw, it seems like, notice they have solar panels, so clearly they are not cheap, not that cheap. for let's say the local economy in those areas, but here in New Caledonia they looking pretty good. So clearly they have some money. They're doing well. They're doing better than economic wise than everything that we saw so far in the region. And now we're gonna look the main city very quickly, very soon, immediately, and then we're gonna have a much better idea, see where those good or bad areas, how they live, if they have such a thing as bad areas, but who knows. So far I am impressed. I am proud to see a lot of European things so far from home. Good for those look at this, it's another Dacia. Good for them, actually, good for them. Hopefully they maintain them well, also the cars here. Clearly those are some new neighborhoods that we call it, judging by the way they are spread out. Now a bit jammed together, I have to say. Look how much land they have, so they could done a better job than this, but still pretty good. You need some more trees here, but it's probably in the construction, so I'm not gonna be too judgy about that. Now those fences, well, very European I would say, but it is what it is. Another Dacia probably here, I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, definitely they live much better than so far everything that I saw in the region economic wise. Now we have that outside the main towns area when they look pretty good even, so even there they doing pretty nice. Yeah, Jesus statue here. Probably they took with them Catholic religion 100%, so yeah. Let's check this road and then we go to the main city. Oh no, just going that 360 there. That 360 is pretty good also. It looks good, yeah. Wow, it's not much I can complain so far, so which is kind of odd, because I usually, that's kind of the point of this video, just make a complain about something. Now a bit jammed together, but again, it seems to look pretty good. I mean, everyone has some solar panel, almost everyone has some pool in their backyards. Clearly, they doing very well here. I mean, especially these guys, they have the pool in the back and then they have those trees. They're doing well. And those are probably for water storage. Yeah, don't underestimate them, I would say. Here, I'm not sure exactly what car it is, but still. Road's pretty nice. They did a great job there, but again, not that many people to actually use them that much, so they're gonna stay in the great shape for a while, let's say. Wow, this is the main town, the main city. Let's see it. Let's see how those people, now from above a bit again jammed together, but I guess it is what it is. You're always gonna find things like that in a main town. How those people live. We have some Dodge Ram here, some American cars. Perpendicular enterprise construction. So yeah, they have some construction business here on this strip. Looks like one of those main strips. I'm looking for that provider of phone company. If you didn't catch that so far. Yeah, the quality is not that great from those 360, which is kind of a shame, but at least we have something, I guess. But yeah, not that great quality, so it's kind of cheap the experience. But yeah, they look pretty nice here. Look at this. That's a nice place to see. That's a nice place to live, even a visit, I would say. Look at this. A Dacia in a paradise. Who gonna thought about that? See? It's not just the car, it's actually the road that you driving the car. It's gonna make you feel better. Well, yeah, nice bus station. Usually, like I say, when I start to make, probably in Estonia, I was start looking at this kind of the metrics that I invented, let's call it like that, how the bus station looks. Is gonna tell you a lot about the population in that country. So far it looks pretty good. So I guess people very civilized, very well educated, very nice so far. Huge parking lots, and they look kind of empty, so maybe they took something from the American culture. Ooh, that's a nice yellow Hyundai. Yeah, the Bay Area, the marine one looks pretty rich, let's call it like that. It looks pretty rich from above, I have to say. Look at those boats. A lot of them. And those are not cheap. Okay, so yeah, they're doing very well in that department. They doing, maybe like they have like some small Monaco, you know, that thing there. They want to try to have it here too. It looks like that. Even like a different scale, obviously, you're not gonna have those super mega ultra expensive yachts, and they have two, by the way. You guys just see another one there. But still, for ooh, that's nice. Probably they have some ship cruising here. You can actually take from Europe to this one, to this island. That would be interesting. Oh, how many they have? They have a lot of those bays. So what? Everyone here just owning a boat. They are that rich. They are even richer than the mainland French people. It seems like that. Oh, that's a nice apartment. Wow. You know what? I don't like apartments, but let's check those ones. Clearly, those are used from shading from the sun. Probably the temperature here exceeds a lot more than we see in the mainland France. I believe they're apartment buildings. I'm not exactly sure 100%, but it looks pretty interesting. See, they have just 1, 2 stores, 3, maybe with another one there. But it looks pretty interesting, and they have quite a few of them. Now, probably again, I'm gonna choose to live in an individual house, especially in a nice place like this, but this one I don't like it that much. But it's still better than the communist one. See, there is a huge difference. Now, that's pretty interesting. Just park your car on the green like that. That's a nice parking spot for a car, I would say. 15 kilometers an hour, just walking there. How can I have those such low speeds? That's way too low for anything, even for a bike. It's way too low. Some beach football, I guess, here. Yeah, this seems like they have it pretty well together. They just have a great life so far. I don't find anything alarming, anything that's gonna say, oof, doesn't look so well. They like American cars, so probably the tax on the cars are much lower than they have it in France, I think. Yeah, they look good. I mean, just I'm a bit the only thing, that I can say bad about this place so far, it looks very good, that that medical system, I believe it needs to be improved, especially as a French, when here in Europe they seem like the great medical system, and here, like in their territories, when clearly they're doing very well to have such a high numbers in infant mortality rate and deaths under the age of 5. Ooh, that's a problem, I would say. So they need to fix that. Probably there is a golf course there. The airport, the main one, clearly is this one, and it looks pretty nice. And we saw that golf course here. Yeah. Fortunately, we don't have that many pictures, but it looks pretty sick. Yeah, here's from the forest. The 360 not so well, so they have a lot of those paths. You can actually walk to them. This one, pretty much every neighborhood that we will watch, we saw so far, it looks like the rich one. For some reason, everybody likes sports here, so they have it. It looks nice. Just how many times I need to say it? This one is much better, 360 quality. Oh, it's from biking. See, pretty nice. Yeah, it is great. A great area to live, a great area to go. Even to, I guess, even just grow up, still a great area. You're gonna have some nice story to tell. Wow, what is here? What is happening here? There's something interesting here. Wow, look at this. They have, what is a national park here? It's a nice building. It's a university. What it is? It looks sick. It looks great. Let's go outside here. Oh, look at this French car. I have no idea what is this. Maybe a park, like I said, a central park with a museum. Maybe that close to the water. Looks sick. Looks great. It looks great, I have to say. Yeah. So far, we're gonna check a bit. How many we check? Okay, we didn't check those islands, but yeah, the main. It's gonna stay just a very short time here because it looks great. Yeah, I don't find anything alarming, anything bad. I'm sure they're gonna have some not so well areas, but still, man, it's much better than we saw, I think, everywhere so far, especially in this region. They're doing well. They're doing well, 100%. Yeah. Probably again that same corruption as we saw in France, which is again not the lowest, but still lower than others. It's gonna have an impact, and you can see the impact. It is pretty great life here. You can see they have some small hills here. I wish we can have more 360, but seems they're doing very well here. I am interested how much is gonna cost a house here. Clearly they have the land, so they can play that card. They just don't have enough land to build. Yeah, the construction, I believe with that's gonna be like higher salaries here, so that's gonna translate in a higher cost. But how much a house could cost here to buy it, to build it? That's an interesting question, I would say. Because like I say, it's gonna be a pretty nice. In French they have a lot of those territories spread around the world. We're gonna check some others, especially they have 2 islands in east coast of east coast of Africa. I think they call it, one of them it's Renat, and the other one I don't remember the name. So clearly they have a lot of nice places to retire, at least if you don't want to live your life there. Again, another Renault Clio, you see those everywhere. So that'll be interesting spot here, I would say, to an interesting option for those people, for the old people that just want to retire. And doing in a place like this, let me tell you, is not a bad thing. But again, depends. But probably again, you already have a house in France, in the mainland. So you have one of those in Paris. One, it cannot be more expensive than an apartment in Paris. I think, I'm not sure, but maybe I am right, or who knows, maybe I'm wrong. That's a nice resort here, but clearly it's gonna be a much better place to live than Paris. I mean, look at us, just come on. Okay, this is a resort, yeah, but still, much better place. Now let's check those islands. Now I think we saw enough. It's just, yeah, I am convinced they're looking great. They're doing a great job here. Even they're a French territory, you know. Keep saying that. I didn't see that phone provider that I was looking for, but still, pretty impressed with what they achieve here, with what they realize. Very European, very clean, very well done, very well executed. So far, look at this one. Make a picture. Clearly, this is like a more of the tourist area, but look at those beaches. I mean, come on, it's just. Would you not like to live here? You want to show me those pictures in Paris? I don't think you want to see that. I think you want to just live your life here than living in a suburb of Paris or whatever. Now, obviously, the wages here cannot be the same as high as the one in Paris, I believe. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people don't know they have these options. That would be an interesting thought. Maybe with the lowering population in the Western world, especially in European Union, we're gonna open up, let's say, because clearly we're not gonna need that many people to work. Maybe we're gonna use those territories to actually export some people in nice. Now, of course, when you have a lot of people going in area, the same thing is gonna happen. It's gonna pretty much destroy the everything that they have here. That's why first we have to lower the population. But probably from the European perspective, I have to say there could be actually, I want to say a way out, but a very good opportunity to migrate, especially for the last years of your life, if not from middle age maybe, to actually migrate to those, even those are European territories. Again, we are not imposing in someone else's backyard, let's call it like that. Still a European territory, but oh my god, look at this. But a very nice territory, for God's sake. And who would not like to live the last years of their life here? Or like I say, even a middle-aged person would not like to come in a place like this. And like I say, they have a lot of them on the entire planet, the French colonies, the French territories. Now we kind of give them some how do I call this, some bad publicity, they keep grabbing on those territory and the colonies. And that is more true, let's say, with the African ones. But this, they did a great job not giving up on them. I mean, just look at this. That would be a nice place to actually migrate here to live. Now, again, how much is going to be a house? How expensive is going to be to build one? How easy it's going to be to build one? Those huge questions to be answered. And I hope someone who lives there would be a nice person, would be nice enough to answer those questions if they watch this video and they incline to do so. It looks like a paradise retirement places, at least, like I said, if not even for those middle-aged persons moving here. And maybe, it's a nice idea, maybe take some those high-end technologies from the West. Even here, it's still the West, obviously. Wow, I just realized West is actually much bigger than I thought. It's not just the Western Europe and USA and Canada and all that stuff that we know. It's actually even those territory, because clearly even they're not just the French territory, they're not just French colonies. When you're gonna see like other countries and they're living in poverty and stuff like that. Here, actually, they live like in a Western world. They just no difference, even better than some other people that are living in the Western world. Probably they're living better than those people actually live in France, for God's sake. It is a nice place to see. If I see a Citroën 2CV or a 2 Chevaux in France, that would be amazing here, but I don't think I am that lucky, but still. Yeah, it could be a great opportunity. I never thought of that. Leaving Europe to live in those places. I mean, what's not to like? It looks like probably the culture, it's European. Yeah, the landscape and the vegetation, it's local. They're not gonna take some French vegetation, for God's sake, because it's France. But it could be a very nice place to live. A very nice one. I am curious how expensive it is here. Probably a bit more expensive than the other islands that we saw. Clearly not that much poverty. And the unemployment rate, it's kind of a worried, I would say. But yeah, if a place like this, it's gonna be hard to work when you're living in a place like this also. Maybe that's they have such a high unemployment rate. But so far they seems to do pretty well. I mean, you don't find homeless people, maybe you don't find bad neighborhoods. Clearly you're gonna see more of those in France, in Paris, than here, 100%. Here it's just look amazing. I actually living like paradise here. And how much it was, I think the economics were $35,000 per capita. Probably again, it's gonna be like a nominal 100%, and they have a lot of service industry. How much is in France? Maybe not a bit better, but not that much better, I would say. But clearly, the landscape is gonna compensate for that a lot. I mean, look at this. Nice sandy white beaches, like, this is Caribbean. This is different Caribbean. And it don't seem to have those typhoons or hurricane, whatever they have here, because clearly maybe they build better in the first place, because I don't see them. Like we saw in other countries. Maybe we don't have those 360, but it was in 2015 when something like that happened. Here, I don't seems to have that problem, at least. Maybe I'm wrong again, but I think we saw some wow, what the fuck is that? I think I saw at some point some screensavers from the Windows from exactly this place right here. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, just European, South Pacific, pretty wealthy, and with nice culture. I'm not sure exactly if they have native population here. But if most of the people were just bring from France and a few from local areas, I can see why they're doing so well. Just they start with that culture from the beginning. Wow, that's amazing. How much is gonna be to just travel here? Probably a lot, because it's far away from us, but they're doing pretty well. Yeah, even this is in those remote areas. Now that tire probably they're using for the fun, so I'm not gonna take it as a garbage. Yeah, clearly the beach are very clean, very nice keep. Even here you can see, yeah, we have some bit of rubbish here, but not huge one. Probably somebody's gonna pick them up eventually. Even here in those remote areas, unfortunately we don't have some 360, but clearly they don't live jammed together, and from the above they seems to look pretty decent. They have some nice roads at least. Not so bad. Ooh, something happening here. We have a lot of 360s. No, it's a church most likely. Yeah, it's a church, that's why. But yeah, it looks amazing. Come on, it's just, who would thought that New Caledonia, so far from France, it is actually France, for God's sake. It looks even better than France. Yeah, I bet a lot of French people just made their vacation here. 100%. 100% make their vacation. I mean, why would not do it? Just look at this. And so many things we can actually see, and probably this video is gonna be again one of those long ones, but at least here we have a nice, and that's the last island probably here. Let's check this one. Wow, look at how nice the beach it is, how long it is. What we can see in this area, well, they build a bit closer to the ocean, so yeah, that's a worry, a bit of the worry I would say, but still it looks nice. It does look nice. I wish we're gonna have more of those 360s in those populated area, because so far I didn't see a bad neighborhood. I mean, just all of them looks pretty amazing. Look at this. Now a bit of a garbage here, probably from the wind, I guess. It looks like a poster or something. It looks amazing. Amazing. Yeah, vacations 100%. A lot of them they're gonna do it here. Living here, like I say, it's a nice place to retire. Let's face it, it's a nice place to retire here. I wish we're gonna have more information from the people who actually live here. If you, like I say, if you watch this video, just tell us as much as you can how you think. Probably, especially not even if we're going just on vacation, it's still gonna be some nice stuff. But if you live here, how exactly the life it is there. Yeah, we saw that employment rate. That's something to worry. Tell us more about that, and also exactly how it is to live here besides the beaches, because we said it's a great place. That way, how is the housing market? How is the salary here? Is that high of the unemployment rate actually true, or because like I say, just seems like everybody have a nice houses. Now here clearly this is from the show. It's a display houses. I don't think anybody lives actually in those, but it's a nice place to visit. Yeah, from above it looks like kind of everyone is doing at least all right, if you're not better than they're doing for those compatriots in France. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. They don't have to worry about the war here, I guess. No? In France probably they worry about the Ukraine war. Here they don't even know where Ukraine is on the map, maybe, hopefully. See, it looks pretty good. Yeah, wherever you go, it looks nice. Whatever you do here, it seems like you just live your best life. Usually, like I say, so far the paradise is nice, but it doesn't look like you're gonna do much there. But here in New Caledonia, it looks like you're gonna have a great life and living in a paradise in the same time, and that's something that it's not gonna be easy to find. I have no idea what's happening here, but again, probably some tourist area, some nice boats here. Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks, I don't know how many times I need to say it, but yeah, the road's not so well here, but you can forget that immediately. I mean, just go to this beach. Yeah, fuck it. Looks nice. What year was that? Let me check again. This is 2020. Okay, so in the pandemic here. Can you imagine just going here on vacation and say, oh no, you cannot leave this area because it's a pandemic outside, and no worry, the government is gonna pay for your for your hotel and food for the next 2 years. That would be actually a great place to live, you know. But hey, it is nice. It just, you have everything that you want. Yeah, I think we have to finish this. It's just it's gonna make you feel even worse. Depends where you're watching this video. But yeah, like I said, if you're living in this area, just please tell us in the comments how the life is there, how you see it. Oh, some garbage here. Oh, I don't like that. How exactly regular people live there, because clearly the rich one, they have the nice houses and all that stuff. So yeah, we don't worry about them. We worry about those middle income, and how even those lower income looks like, because so far it looks pretty good. I really like it. It's a nice place to live. Look at this. Look how far. This is New Caledonia, and look at where France it is. You can see it's exactly on the other side of the globe. You can see the difference. Now, when you check 360s here in Europe, I mean, just look at it. Every single goddamn street, you can actually see it. It's just, yeah. So look at this. Going on the other side now. On the other side of the globe, literally on the other side of the globe, so far away. They seems to have a great life here, and like I said, probably it's gonna be expensive to travel here. Hopefully with time you're gonna develop some new technology, especially in the air travel department, so it can be actually cheaper and faster. So if you go from here on the other side of the globe, on the planet, in let's say in 6 hours, that would be amazing. I would say maybe 8 hours, let's say 8 hours with a direct flight. That would be amazing. 8 hours, and it's not gonna cost you more than 250 euros. Man, we made it. We can see an entire planet. But for that, I believe we need some time and some lowering the population, because otherwise everybody is gonna rush in doing the same thing that you wanna do, and it's gonna ruin your experience. Just go to Venice, and we're gonna understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, that was a video. Very impressed about the New Caledonia. They doing very well there. Good for them. It seems like it's paradise. That's why the life expectancy, you can see even here, 80 years old, 81 years old. It's so good. GDP per capita, okay, that was 33 in 2022, so probably now it's again 35,000 US dollars per capita. It seems to be like a good spot. I want to say a sweet spot. The more the better, but it seems to be a good spot for them. And the growing rate 3.5%, not bad. Fertility rate 2.02 again. I wish we can see it a bit lower, but now as I see it as a French culture, there as a Catholic, as how nice they live, I can understand that why it's just a bit up the fertility rate. But yeah, with time we're gonna see that going down. It's just our culture, and we're trying to fix some mistake from the past, when population should never be that high, but it is what it is, I guess. So yeah, see you in the next video. Check the other videos. Very impressed about this New Caledonia video.